Some things should never happen. Some feelings should never take root. Some secrets should never be spoken. And yet, here I am. I've carried this weight in silence. Let it settle in my bones. Let it turn into something I no longer fight. And the worst part? I don't know if I want to fight it at all. I should feel disgusted. I should feel shame. But all I feel is this, emptiness. And in that emptiness, there's something I can't name. Something that keeps me up at night. Something that lingers when I close my eyes. They say a mother's love is unconditional. But what if that love becomes something else? A mistake. A betrayal. A sickness. I've done things I can never take back. And I don't know if I regret them. Before we begin, I want to warn you that this story contains mature themes. It deals with the challenges of forbidden emotions, guilt, and choices that should never be made. If these topics make you uncomfortable, you might want to stop listening now. But if you stay, I promise you, this story will make you question everything you thought you knew about love, morality, and the things we hide even from ourselves. I never thought I'd be a mother. Never planned for it. Never dreamed about cradling a baby in my arms, rocking him to sleep, singing lullabies. I was young, reckless, wild. And then one day, there he was. Rome. A tiny thing with dark eyes that never let go of me. And just like that, my life belonged to someone else. His father wasn't around long. He left before Rome even knew his name. Some men have a way of slipping through your fingers like smoke, and Reginald was one of them. He wasn't cruel, wasn't violent, just absent. And in a way, I think that's worse. At least with pain, you have something to hold on to. But when someone simply disappears, all you're left with is silence. So, it was just me and Rome. A woman too young to be raising a child, trying to teach him about a world I was still figuring out myself. I did what I had to. I worked, I struggled, I lied to bill collectors, I made miracles out of nothing. And through it all, he was my shadow. My little boy, watching, learning, needing me. He was always different. Always quiet, always observing. He didn't throw tantrums. He didn't ask for much. He just looked at me. Like he was waiting for something. Like he knew something even I didn't. I gave him everything. Made sure he had the best schools, the best clothes, the best chances. I wanted him to be strong, successful. Not weak like his father. Not desperate like me. And he was. Rome was brilliant. Perfect grades, sharp mind, polite, disciplined. Every teacher loved him. Every coach wanted him on their team. Every girl wanted to be close to him. But there was always something behind those eyes. Something he never let anyone see. And then he left. Off to college. Off to build a life that didn't have me at the center of it anymore. And for the first time in 20 years, I was alone. Rome has always been hard to read. People think they know him, but they don't. He's charming when he wants to be, polite when he has to be. But I see the way he moves through the world. Detached. Calculated. A man wearing a mask. And then there's Macy. His perfect little girlfriend. Sweet, soft, innocent. The kind of girl who still believes in fairy tales, who thinks love is something you can hold on to forever. She doesn't know him. Not really. But she thinks she does. And that's enough for her. She clings to him. Worships him. And he lets her. He plays the role, smiles when he's supposed to, kisses her in public, tells her all the right things. And maybe part of him even believes it. Maybe he thinks he loves her. But I know better. I've seen the way he looks at her when she's not paying attention. Like he's somewhere else. Like he's waiting for something to wake him up. He never looked at me that way when he was younger. Back then, his eyes were filled with nothing but trust. Nothing but love. But something changed. I don't know when. Maybe when he was a teenager, when he started noticing things. When he started watching me the way a boy shouldn't watch his mother. And I should have stopped it. Should have shut it down. But I didn't. I ignored it. Pretended it wasn't there. Because the truth was, I liked being looked at. I liked being wanted. Macy is everything I never was. Soft. Kind. Pure. She's the kind of girl people marry. The kind of girl people fight for. The kind of girl who believes in happy endings. She comes from a good family. A real family. 2 parents who still love each other. A house with a white picket fence. Holidays filled with laughter and warmth. She doesn't know what it's like to grow up in an apartment where the lights might not turn on the next day. She's never had to wonder if someone would come back. Never had to fight for someone to stay. She and Rome met in college. A psychology class, I think. She told me once that he was the smartest person she had ever met. That he made her feel safe. That she couldn't imagine her life without him. I wanted to laugh. Because if she knew what I knew, she wouldn't feel safe at all. She tries so hard to impress me. Calls me Miss Cherry even though I told her she doesn't have to. Brings me little gifts when she visits. Compliments my cooking. She wants me to like her. Wants me to approve. And part of me does. But there's another part. The part that watches the way Rome touches her. The way his fingers brush against her skin. The way he leans in when she whispers something in his ear. The way she looks at him like he's her entire world. I hate it. I hate how much he loves her back. For years, it was just me and Rome. No one else. We were a team. A unit. I knew him better than anyone. But now, he belongs to someone else. And I don't know how to handle that. She has him now. She wakes up next to him. She gets to hear his voice in the middle of the night. She gets to run her fingers through his hair, feel the warmth of his body, hold on to the parts of him I can never touch. And I tell myself it doesn't matter. That I don't care. But late at night, when I'm alone, when the house is quiet and the only sound is my own breathing, I can still hear his voice. I can still feel the way he looked at me that night. And no matter how hard I try, I can't make it go away. Maybe I don't want it to go away. Mothers know things. Not in a way that can be explained. It's not a thought, not a fact, not something you can hold in your hands. It's a feeling. A whisper in the back of your mind. A shiver under your skin. A knowledge that creeps in when you least expect it. I always knew there was something different about Rome. I felt it before I could name it. Before I let myself admit it. It started small. A hesitation when I hugged him. A second too long before he let go. The way his fingers would barely brush against my arm, lingering, like he was memorizing the shape of me. The way his eyes followed me, not like a son watching his mother, but like a man watching something he shouldn't want. At first, I ignored it. Told myself I was imagining things. That I was looking too hard, seeing something that wasn't there. But deep down, I always knew. It wasn't always this way. When he was a boy, he was all innocence. He clung to me, sought comfort in my arms, whispered his fears in the quiet of the night. He was soft then, fragile in ways he didn't want the world to see. I was his protector, his shield, the one person he could trust with everything. And I loved that. I loved being the one he needed. But boys don't stay boys forever. They grow. They change. And one day, without warning, they start looking at the world differently. At women differently. At me differently. I remember the first time I felt it. Noticed it. I had just stepped out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, heading to my room. The house was dark, still. I thought I was alone. But I wasn't. I turned my head just slightly, caught movement from the corner of my eye. Rome. standing in the hallway, watching me. Silent. Still. He must have thought I hadn't seen him. But I had. And in that moment, something inside me shifted. I should have said something. Should have scolded him, should have pulled the towel tighter around myself, should have told him to go back to bed. But I didn't. Instead, I kept walking, pretending I hadn't noticed. And when I reached my room, I left the door cracked open, just enough. Just enough. Why did I do that? Why did I let it happen? Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was loneliness. Maybe it was something far worse. But whatever it was, it never went away. It was supposed to be a simple weekend. One last visit home before I packed up and left for good. The house had already started to feel empty, like a place waiting to be forgotten. Rome came to help me pack, to clean, to sort through years of things that no longer mattered. It was late when I left for the party. Some friends had planned a small get-together to say goodbye. I wasn't planning to stay long, just a few drinks, a few laughs. But the entire time, my mind was elsewhere. Something felt off. Like a pull in my chest, an itch I couldn't scratch. So, I left early. Drove home without thinking, without questioning why I felt the need to be there. The house was dark when I arrived. Quiet. I figured Rome had already gone to bed. But as I stepped inside, I heard movement. Soft footsteps against the hardwood floor. I walked further in, past the doorway, past the dim glow of the streetlights bleeding through the curtains. And then I saw him. Rome. Completely bare. Walking through the living room, his back to me, moving like he was the only person in the world. I could have made a sound. Cleared my throat. Turned away. But I didn't. I watched. His body, lean and strong, the way his muscles shifted with every step. The curve of his back, the way his shoulders tensed as if sensing something, sensing me. And then, as if pulled by something unseen, he turned his head. Our eyes met. A long, unbearable silence stretched between us. His face changed, shock, embarrassment, something else. Something deeper. Something I recognized because I had felt it too. I should have turned away. I should have said something, anything, to make this normal again. But I didn't. I stood there, in the doorway, watching him. Letting the moment hang between us like a secret neither of us were ready to name. He swallowed hard, his Adam's apple bobbing in his throat. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came. He was waiting for me. Waiting for permission, waiting for rejection, waiting for something. Finally, he stammered out an excuse. Something about being tired. About getting ready for bed. I let the silence linger, let it stretch until it became unbearable. And then, finally, I spoke. What are you up to? Not a scolding. Not a reprimand. Just a question. A simple, loaded question. He had no answer. None that he could say out loud, anyway. I let the moment settle. Let the weight of it sink into his skin, into mine. And then, without another word, I turned and walked away. That night, I couldn't sleep. I tried, God knows I tried. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw him. Standing there. Frozen. Naked. Looking at me with something I couldn't name. Something I didn't want to name. I poured myself a drink. Just one at first. Just enough to calm my nerves, to still my shaking hands. But it didn't help. The moment replayed in my head, over and over, looping like a broken film reel. Was it all in my head? Had I imagined the tension? Had I made it something it wasn't? No. I knew better. I had seen it. Felt it. A charge in the air so thick it pressed down on my chest, made it hard to breathe. I wasn't making it up. And that was the part that terrified me. What kind of mother stands there and does nothing? What kind of mother lets the moment stretch instead of shutting it down? I hated myself for it. Hated the part of me that hadn't turned away fast enough. That had stood there, rooted in place, letting the silence drag between us. Hated the part of me that had liked the attention. That had needed it. Maybe that was the worst part. Knowing that for one brief, unspoken moment, I didn't feel like his mother. I felt like a woman being seen. The house was quiet, but my thoughts were loud. I needed air, needed to clear my head. Needed to remind myself that I was still in control. But then, I heard something. A sound so faint I almost missed it. A rustle of fabric, a shift of movement, the kind of noise that only means one thing. I don't know why I did it. Why I let my feet carry me down the hall, why I stopped outside his door, why my hand hovered over the doorknob, fingers shaking. I could have walked away. Should have. But I didn't. The door was cracked open, just enough to see inside. Rome sat on the edge of his bed, his back to me. His head was tilted down, his breath slow and measured. His body tense, caught in something he couldn't stop. I should have left. I should have knocked, should have called his name, should have given him the chance to hide his shame. But I didn't. He must have sensed me, because he turned his head slightly, just enough to see me standing there. He didn't stop. He didn't cover himself. Didn't flinch. Didn't tell me to leave. And in that moment, something inside me broke. I had spent my whole life pretending I was strong. Pretending I was untouchable. But there, in that room, with my son looking at me in a way no son should, I felt something I had never felt before. Small. Weak. Ruined. Shame is a strange thing. It doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in, slow and steady, wrapping itself around you like a second skin. It lingers. Clings. Whispers in your ear when you think you've escaped it. I should have said something. Anything. A single word to break the moment, to shatter whatever was hanging in the air between us. But my throat was dry, my mouth useless. And then, he spoke. Will you watch me? 4 words. Soft. Careful. A plea, not a demand. And for the first time in my life, I didn't know what to do. I wanted to scream. To run. To undo everything that had led to this moment. But I was frozen, trapped in a body that no longer felt like mine. This was my son. My child. The boy I had held in my arms, kissed on the forehead, rocked to sleep. And yet, in that moment, he was something else. And so was I. I should have left. Should have slammed the door, should have shut it down. But instead, I did something far worse. I stepped inside. Closer. Not because I wanted to. Not because I meant to. But because I didn't know how to do anything else. The air was thick, suffocating. The weight of our choices, of everything unsaid, pressed down on us. And still, neither of us spoke. He didn't ask again. He didn't have to. A few minutes passed, though they felt like hours. And when it was over, he looked at me. And I looked back. I could have screamed. Could have fallen to my knees and sobbed. Could have begged for forgiveness, for God, for something to pull me out of whatever this was. But instead, I did the only thing I knew how to do. I turned, and walked away. And neither of us ever spoke about it again. That night changed everything. Not because of what happened, but because of what it meant. Because of what it took from us. Because of what it exposed. I failed. I failed him. And I failed myself. I want to say I regret it. That I would do things differently if given the chance. But the truth is, I don't know. And maybe that's the worst part of all. The next morning, the house was quiet. Too quiet. The kind of silence that isn't really silence at all, but something else. Something heavier. Something waiting to crack. Rome avoided me. He moved through the house like a ghost, his eyes never quite meeting mine. He barely spoke, barely looked up from his plate at breakfast. And I let him. I watched him. The way his hands trembled slightly when he reached for his coffee. The way his jaw clenched, tight and locked, like he was holding something inside that was ready to spill over. I could feel it, his guilt, his shame, his confusion. It was written all over him, in the way he sat stiffly, in the way he kept swallowing like there was something in his throat he couldn't get rid of. And I should have felt disgusted. I should have felt ashamed. I should have been the one carrying that weight, suffocating under the gravity of what had happened. But instead, I felt something else. Control. For the first time in my life, I was the one with power. The one who had someone else trapped, drowning, unsure of what came next. It was a twisted feeling, a wrong feeling, but I couldn't deny it. Rome had always been the one who kept his emotions hidden, the one who never let anyone get too close. And now, for the first time, I had seen him break. And a part of me liked it. That terrified me more than anything else. He left that afternoon. Packed his bag, said a quick goodbye, and was gone before I could say anything real. And that was fine. I knew he needed to get away. Knew he needed distance. But I also knew something else, he wasn't going to escape it. No matter where he went, no matter how far he ran, it was coming with him. And I was right. When he got back home, back to his apartment, Macy knew immediately. She didn't have to ask. Women know these things. We feel them in our bones. In the way a man suddenly won't look at you, in the way his hands feel different when they touch you, in the way his mind is somewhere else even when his body is right in front of you. She asked him what was wrong. Over and over. He told her nothing. Over and over. But she didn't believe him. He was distracted. Jumpy. His phone never left his hand, but he never sent any messages. She told me that later, how she watched him staring at the screen, typing something, then deleting it. Again and again. Like he wanted to say something but didn't know how. One night, she caught a glimpse of it. Just a flash, before he noticed her looking and locked the screen. But she saw enough. A message. Half written. To me. I can't stop thinking about it. I wonder what went through her mind in that moment. Did she think it was another woman? Some college girl, someone younger, someone who had caught his eye? Or did something deeper click inside her? Did she feel it, even if she couldn't name it? She confronted him. Asked who he was texting. He lied. Said it was nothing. Said he had been tired, stressed, that it was a stupid message he never meant to send. She wanted to believe him. But the more she tried, the less it made sense. He was slipping away from her, and she could feel it. She tried harder, clung tighter. But the more she pulled, the further he went. And I could have told her that was useless. That once a man starts drifting, there's no way to bring him back. But I didn't. I almost felt bad for her. Poor Macy, so in love with a man who was already broken beyond repair. I didn't reach out to him. I didn't call. Didn't text. I let him sit in it. Let him carry it on his own. Because that's what guilt does, it grows in silence. And I wanted to know if he would break under it. But the truth was, I was breaking too. I had convinced myself I was in control. That I had the upper hand. But every time my phone buzzed, I thought it was him. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face that night, wide-eyed, frozen, waiting for something neither of us could name. I told myself it was over. That we would never talk about it. That it was locked away, buried, dead. But the problem with secrets is that they don't stay buried. They fester. They rot. They seep into the cracks of your life until you can't separate them from the rest of you. I wasn't in control. I never had been. I had just convinced myself I was. And sooner or later, something had to give. People think time erases things. That if you wait long enough, memories fade, pain dulls, and guilt disappears. But that's a lie. Time doesn't heal. It only buries. And buried things don't stay hidden forever. Rome thought he could forget. Thought that if he ignored it, if he pushed it down deep enough, it would go away. But some sins stain the soul forever. And I knew, no matter how much he tried to pretend, he was already unraveling. When I told him I was moving to his city, he didn't react at first. Just sat there, silent, staring at the table like if he stayed still long enough, maybe the moment would pass. But it didn't. Macy was thrilled. She wanted to meet me, wanted me to be a part of their lives. She texted me often, sent me pictures of the apartment, told me about the restaurants she wanted to take me to when I arrived. She wanted to impress me. To be the perfect girlfriend. The perfect daughter-in-law. She had no idea that Rome hadn't told her everything. And that's what made it worse. The way she smiled when she spoke about me. The way she thought I was just his mother, nothing more. The way she trusted him. Trusted me. When I arrived, Macy greeted me at the door with open arms, hugging me tightly, her warmth genuine, her excitement real. And I played my part. I smiled. I thanked her. I told her how beautiful she was, how happy I was to finally meet her. And for a moment, she beamed, completely unaware of the storm swirling beneath the surface. But Rome knew. He stood behind her, tense, barely breathing, his hands stuffed deep into his pockets to keep them from shaking. And when she turned away, just for a second, I looked at him. I didn't speak. Didn't need to. The silence between us was louder than words. He knew what I was saying. What I had been saying since that night. I own you now. He started drinking more. Not the kind of drinking that comes with celebration, not the kind that loosens laughter or makes the world feel lighter. This was different. He drank like a man trying to escape something. Like someone drowning with no intention of swimming back up. He started avoiding home. Staying out late, coming back only when he knew Macy would already be asleep. And even when he was home, he wasn't really there. He stopped touching her. Stopped kissing her. Stopped answering when she asked what was wrong. Macy told me about it one night over dinner, her voice quiet, hesitant, like she was afraid to say it out loud. He's different lately, she whispered. I don't know what's wrong. He won't talk to me. He won't even look at me sometimes. She looked at me, searching for reassurance. For an answer. For something that would make her feel like she wasn't losing him. And I could have given it to her. Could have told her what she wanted to hear, that it was just stress, that he would come around, that everything would be fine. But instead, I just reached across the table, placed my hand over hers, and smiled. Give him time, I said. Sometimes men carry things they don't know how to share. She nodded, clinging to those words like a lifeline. And I watched her, knowing the truth. Rome wasn't carrying something. He was crumbling under it. Secrets are heavy things. They don't disappear. They don't fade. They rot you from the inside out, spreading like poison through everything you touch. And I could see it, every day, in the way Rome carried himself, in the way he avoided my eyes, in the way his hands shook when he thought no one was watching. He was breaking. And he had no idea how to stop it. I should have felt guilty. I should have stepped back, should have let him breathe, should have let him pull himself together. But I didn't. Because deep down, some dark part of me liked watching it happen. For years, I had been the one suffering. The one waiting. The one losing. And now, for the first time, I wasn't the one drowning. He was. And I let him. The thing about guilt is that it doesn't go away. You can drink it away, run from it, bury it under distractions, but it always finds you. And I knew. Rome was running out of places to hide. He was slipping. Slipping from Macy. Slipping from himself. And I watched, knowing exactly how the story would end. Because some mistakes, once made, can never be undone. There are moments in life that change you. That carve themselves into your skin, into your soul, leaving marks that will never fade. Some mistakes can be forgiven. Some wounds can heal. But others stain you forever. I have told myself every possible version of this story. Rewritten it in my head 100 times, twisting the truth, shifting the blame, making excuses. But no matter how I frame it, the ending is always the same. I lost him. Rome was never the same after that night. He stopped smiling. Stopped being the boy I raised. I watched him unravel piece by piece, breaking apart in slow motion, and I did nothing to stop it. Macy saw it too. She tried to hold on to him, tried to love him enough to fix whatever was wrong. But love doesn't mend what's already shattered. And eventually, she gave up. The night she left, I knew it was coming. Rome had been spiraling for weeks, avoiding home, drinking too much, losing himself in ways I had never seen before. He was barely there anymore. A hollow version of the boy I once knew. Macy had called me earlier that day. Her voice was small, hesitant. "I don't know what to do anymore, Miss Cherry," she said. "He won't talk to me. He won't let me in." I listened. I let her pour her heart out, let her tell me how much she loved him, how much she wanted to fix things. And I knew she was already halfway out the door. That night, she packed her things. Rome didn't try to stop her. He just stood there, watching, as she pulled her suitcase to the door. She turned to him one last time, waiting for something, for him to fight, to beg, to give her a reason to stay. But he said nothing. And she walked away. Minutes later, my phone lit up with a message from her. "I can't do this anymore." I stared at the screen for a long time, rereading those words, letting them settle into my chest. She was done. And Rome, he was alone now. I should have felt sorry for him. I should have reached out, should have tried to fix what was left. But I didn't. Instead, I poured myself a drink and waited. And finally, his message came. "I don't know what to do." It was in that moment that I realized, this was never about love. Not real love. Not the kind that saves people. It was about power. About control. About the things we keep buried until they destroy us. They say a mother's love is unconditional. That no matter what, she protects, she nurtures, she does what's right. But what about when that love is the very thing that destroys what it was meant to protect? I don't know if I regret it. And maybe that's the worst part of all. Would you confess a secret, even if it meant losing everything? Some mistakes can be forgiven. Others leave scars so deep, you carry them for the rest of your life. What do you think, should every secret be confessed? Or are there some truths better left unspoken? Let me know in the comments below. And if this story made you think, if it made you feel something, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because sometimes, the hardest stories are the ones we need to talk about the most.